One Star Rewind.
All right, everyone, we are back with another thrilling episode of One Star Rewind. I am honored to have Ning here as my guest. Ning is one of the owners of Cory Up and Walk This Way. Ning, thank you for being on.
Hi,
Hello.
thank you.
Yes. So, okay, before we get started, the name is so, I think, already kind of iconic in Waco because it's so genuine, right? Cory Up and Walk This Way. Like, everyone knows, I'm assuming kind of the song is maybe where this came from, but or I could be wrong. Tell me the origin of where you got the name for Cory Up and Walk This Way.
So at first, I came up with two names that I like. The first one is Cory Up.
Okay.
And the second one was Walk This Way.
Cool.
And we're kind of discussing about this name.
Yeah.
Which one should we go with?
Sure.
And my husband, auntie, she just like, why don't you guys go with Cory Up and Walk This Way?
Just combine it together.
Combine it together.
Yeah.
And that's so awesome.
That's cool.
We finally end up here, and that showing how we're working together between me and my husband.
Yeah.
Because the Cory Up is on my side,
Sure.
and Walk This Way is on his side.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yes.
So it just shows the blend of both of you together.
That's
Not only you, but now the name.
That's
so
correct.
I think it's cool. I think when people hear it, there's so many restaurants that they may like try one time, or they're like, oh, is that one place, and they had that one food. But this one, I feel like when people say it, it just resonates. So it was so smart. If you stumble upon it or putting it together, it was really brilliant. So, So of course, the theme of the show, we talk about a 1-star review, and we'll walk through it.
Okay.
But before we do that, I always like to get a little bit of background about you, Ning, and about the business. So give us a brief overview about how you got started. Tell us about you and your husband, and then how the business came about and where you're at now.
Okay. First of all, my background, I was born and raised in Thailand.
Okay.
And my husband either.
Okay.
So the background, I was born and raised in Thailand.
Okay.
And my husband either.
Okay.
And he got adopted by American family.
Okay.
That's how his journey was like.
Okay. And what was his age when he was adopted?
Oh, I think around 7.
7? Okay.
Yes.
My mom was adopted. She was from South Korea.
Okay.
Is where she was adopted. She was a baby, though. She was 3 months old when she was adopted by a family in the United States, and then came over. They lived in Washington, Oregon is where I'm from. But yeah, so she didn't know or remember much of her like origins in South Korea. This is so bad, but she would pretend like she could speak Korean, and people would just like, oh, okay, she knows Korean, and we used to have fun with that. But okay, sorry, but yes, I know
that's okay.
I was curious
Totally
the
okay.
age. Yeah.
Yes, and we're actually live in the same city, the same town in Thailand.
Whoa.
But we don't know each other.
Okay.
And I just have a mutual friend, and I know this guy, what his name, because in that city, it's kind of small, like Waco.
Yes. Okay.
We kind of know each other, but we never talk.
Yep.
So he normally go help his brother and his sister-in-law sell the bakery.
Okay.
At the farmer's market in my hometown.
Oh, cool.
Which is that farmer's market is the favorite place of mine.
Okay. Yes.
And I always go there.
Yeah.
To buy the bakery from the store.
Yes.
And he saw me every time.
Okay. At the farmer's market.
Yes, and I didn't recognize him at all at that time. And that's the funny thing. I mean, why I didn't see him right there.
Yeah.
And then he always talked to himself like, I want to marry this girl.
Oh my gosh.
He got crushed on me for 2 years.
What?
That's really,
incredible.
Really sweet of him.
Wow.
I never knew. And then after that, after he moved to Texas, after he got adopted and his family moved back to Waco.
Okay.
We didn't get a chance to talk or anything. I saw him again on Facebook.
Okay.
And I just like, oh, I like his style. So I texted him.
Yes. All about the vibe. Yeah.
Yes, I texted him like, hey, I like your style. And then we start talking until we became good friends. Okay. And we became in a relationship, a long distance relationship for a year and a half.
Wow.
He was in Waco.
Okay.
I was in Thailand, the same city he was born and raised.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. What's the time change with that, Ning? That's got to be like you're asleep, he's awake, like all the time kind of thing.
Well, actually, don't sleep.
You don't sleep. Oh,
The longest was 24 hours on phone.
whoa.
That's crazy. I don't know why. Like we did that, but
That is
at that
crazy.
time, that's 24/7.
Dang. Okay, really quick, go back. I want to try to understand the farmers market in the town that you're from.
Yeah.
Is it a lot bigger than the Waco farmer market? Is it a lot bigger? Okay.
A lot bigger.
A lot bigger. Okay.
And that located in the university.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Like
So like on the campus or somewhere by it.
I would say in Asian culture, people would really love to go to the market, like especially outdoor markets.
Mm-hmm.
They love to go like explore stuff,
Yeah,
that
for
kind
sure.
of thing.
Cool. Okay,
Yes.
sorry. I was trying to like get an idea of how big or small it was. So, okay, so now you've been in this long distance relationship,
Yes.
Waco, Thailand. Okay.
Yes, Waco and Thailand.
Okay.
Yeah. So and after that, my background family, they were they are Buddhist,
Okay.
and me either.
Okay.
I was the Buddhism
Gotcha.
at that time.
Gotcha.
So my parents, they found out that I am in relationship with some guy
Okay.
that I never meet him in. I mean, we met, but we never like talk and have relationship in the real life.
Okay. Yep.
Then they kind of like anti this relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know why. I am trying my best for everything. I was supposed to go to England to study there.
Oh, okay.
But all my journey
Yeah.
was returning to the U.S.
Okay.
That makes my parents know that something happened to my our daughter.
Sure.
And then I just talked to my dad, hey, I want to go for work and travel
Okay.
program
Yeah.
because I just want to see him.
Mm-hmm.
And then I finally came to the U.S.
Okay.
That was the first time we met each other, and then we get to talk, we get to know each other more.
Yeah. Okay, wait, give me a timeline of that. So from when you started like really talking online or texting to when you finally got to see him in person.
Right.
How long was that?
It's like year and 8 months.
Year and 8 months. Okay.
Year and 8 months.
Crazy. All right.
Yes. So that's crazy, I
Yeah.
know. And yeah, and he's the one who just teach me to know how the real love is. And after that, I feel like, okay, I really wanted to be with him.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's how our journey was like.
Yeah.
And then I was I went back to Thailand,
Okay.
and I planning everything to just come back and study in the US
Okay.
instead of England.
Yep.
So that's how my journey was like. And I studied in San Francisco for
Okay.
3 years,
Okay.
3 years and a half.
Gotcha. And he's still in Waco during this time?
He's still in Waco, and he moved to San Francisco.
San Francisco. Okay.
Yeah, San Francisco. After that, like after me.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I was at the what you guys call it's a host family.
Oh yeah, house family. Yeah.
House family,
Okay.
something
living
like
with a house
that.
family.
Yeah.
And what year is this? When this is happening? When you were studying in San Francisco?
San Francisco, I
Yeah.
think 2016
2016.
or
Okay.
17 around that time.
Gotcha. Okay. So you're both in San Francisco. You're studying. He's living there with a house family. I'm
Right.
assuming is he working somewhere or
So that's how his journey started about to be the chef.
cool. Okay.
So he became a chef.
Okay.
First place he was working for the King of Thai Noodles.
Okay.
That was the very famous Thai place in San Francisco.
So it's called the King of Thai Noodles, or they self-proclaim themselves the King of Thai Noodles,
I'm
or
not
it's actually called King of Thai Noodles.
Kings of Thai
Oh,
Noodles.
Kings of Thai Noodles. Okay, gotcha.
Kings of Thai Noodles.
Cool. Well, if you're gonna learn how to cook Thai food somewhere, it's the Kings of Thai Noodles.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was the place that he started
Okay.
working as a chef.
Great.
And then he working there for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry, 2 years.
2 years. Okay.
And another year at another restaurant.
Gotcha.
So those experience just really teach him how to walk,
Yeah.
how to run the restaurant, how to do many stuff in the kitchen.
Nice.
And for me at that time, I was the waitress, and then I'm helping all the friends to do
Cool.
the stuff at the restaurant too.
Good. Good.
So I am and after that my journey was a little bit change because I feel like I want to go study in LA.
Okay.
So I moved myself to LA.
Okay. And I'm sorry, what were you studying at that time?
At that time, I was about to study at the UCLA.
Okay. UCLA. What was the subject, or what were you wanting to pursue for your education?
I want to study about the digital marketing.
Digital marketing. Okay.
Yes.
Very cool. Nice.
Because my bachelor's was the digital media.
Oh, good.
And I want to just continue doing it. But after I realized my life just have no passions about this. And I don't want to waste my money by doing something that I don't have future for it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And at that time, like after I moved to LA, while I'm still thinking, fighting myself, well, Bang and I, my husband, got a chance to come to Waco. And we'll come see Bang's family here.
Okay.
And he proposed me.
What? When you were here visiting his family?
Yes.
He proposed? Wow. There we go.
That's amazing thing ever because at that time my parents, they are really like understand, they accept what I believe, accept Bang, and they really love him.
Okay.
So
does his family and him had the same belief system? You did the same religion, or were they different?
we are the same, we're Christian.
Okay, got you. Okay,
Yes.
cool.
So we only have 2 days to prepare all the rings, for the dress.
Oh my God.
And his father, just amazing because he did an arch, the flower arch for us.
Wow.
One night.
One night? Was he up the whole night putting that together?
I guess so.
Pretty much.
I didn't see.
That's
but
incredible.
I'm sure he's amazing. And they're all amazing. They're helpful. And on Friday, he proposed me. Sunday, we
got married.
Wow.
Dang, that's incredible though. What a cool story. I mean, and you had obviously had known each other for a long time. I think when my wife and I, we were kind of long distance. I was in Waco and she was in Houston, Texas. And so we were long distance, for not Thailand to Waco, but I think in those kind of distances, you have to learn how to talk and communicate because you're not just near each other all the time. So you really get to know a person. And so, and then you've been, this part of your story, right? You're in California and now you're back here. So it does sound kind of crazy on the surface to say engaged on Friday, married on Sunday, but like you have spent years now together,
But that one, I just want to explain a little bit.
Yeah.
At that time, we were together for 5 years already.
You were together for 5 years. Yeah. So that's kind of the timeline I was putting together. Like you knew each other. No, you're fine. You're totally good. That makes sense. I mean, you knew each other really well. And so it's not something that was done real quick.
That's right.
Like you just meet somebody and then you get married. Nothing like that. Right. You really knew him. So no, I love that. Okay. So then you get married. You're in Waco. Did you decide to stay here or did you go back to California?
So I went back to California to finish the program at that time, and then I stopped school.
Okay.
And Bang, he decided to move from San Francisco from the job.
Yep.
Move it to LA.
Okay.
And he got a really big opportunity to work with the Michelin plate restaurant.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's such a blessing for us because that's another level of working in the restaurant as a chef.
Yeah.
And then we stayed in LA for a couple years.
Okay.
And after the pandemic hit, all the stuff seems crazier than the past. Well, we don't know what to do. We just feel like, should we stay here in LA or we should go somewhere else? Yeah. And what we believe, we're praying. We feel like we should put two spots. The first one was Waco, because one of the big my husband's big brother live here, and another brother live in Tennessee, Nashville.
Okay.
So we'll finally hear that we should come to Waco. And after we came to Waco, everything was crazy, like crazy in the best way. It's really, really awesome.
Good.
Because at first we're starting by doing the caring for friends and family.
Okay.
And we didn't expect that everything will go so fast.
Mm-hmm.
God just bring us to the way that He promised. Everything is all the promising, like
Yeah.
to us.
Yeah, and all those doors really start to open and things
Right.
really flow, and you know that this is part of His plan, and
That's correct.
Yeah, it starts to really make sense. So, were you debating between moving to Nashville or moving to Waco?
Yeah.
Because the brothers reach. Okay, interesting. So Waco won. Waco won out.
won.
Yeah, Waco won.
Yes.
Well, very cool. And that year, and this was obviously during the pandemic. This is when you made that move to
Yes,
Waco.
That's correct.
Okay, Ning. So now you're in Waco. It's during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
What or how did Hurry Up and Walk This Way, the actual physical storefront that you have in Union Hall, how did that come about?
So, like I told you, that we're starting doing the catering for friends and family.
Yep.
And then what we got, the next step is the farmer's market.
Okay. Oh, cool.
So for the farmer's market, at that time, we were building all the followers and all the regular customers. And after that, we got chance to move to Union Hall.
Cool.
It was so quick, only 1 year.
Wow.
It was 1 year.
Wow. That's good though. I mean,
That's
you
really good.
you had it figured out, and you take your momentum and move it into a brick and mortar essentially in a food court. So that okay? Give me. Do you remember the first month you did the catering? Like do you remember your first catering event? And then do you remember when you opened?
Yes.
Okay.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
It was so insane for me because everything, I have no experience about this, but my husband does. So he kind of like be the one who set it up, all the portion, all the sizes and everything himself. But I'm being like the sous chef.
Yep.
Doing everything what
Yeah.
he told me to do.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm like the sous chef at home with my wife. So if you're ever hiring, I'm a good sous chef. So
Yeah, me too.
well, okay. So you've done the catering, and then you did farmer's market.
Yes.
And then you opened in Union Hall. Do you, and I'll tie it in here to the review, and then we have to read the review. Do you feel like reviews have ever really gotten to you, either good reviews or bad reviews, or do you like not read them, or what's your take on reviews?
So I'm a person who really quiet with all the feedback. That means I do care a lot. When I read it, I took it back, not personal, but I took it back and have a meeting with my team like, hey, this is what is going on and what we need to change, what we need to listen to what we got it back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're kind of like working on it.
Good.
And try to do it better.
Good.
Yes.
I think that's what a good business owner does is they read it
Thank you.
and then take it back to the team and just say,
Yes.
hey, what happened? Not go too high or too low, but have a good discussion.
Yes.
Okay, Ning, well, let's dive in. So we're going to read the review. And then actually we have a second review here that was not a 1-star, it was a 3-star. But I think actually it talks a little bit about, because the 1-star is pretty short, but the 3-star kind of dives in a little bit to what the 1-star talks about too. So I think we'll use that as kind of a reference point. So, okay, Ning, we are going to rewind. Okay, here we go. So this review, like literally this just happened yesterday.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. We like to say the name, not to be mean, but we're full disclosure. Anyone could look this up online. So,
Yes.
Sherry Smith left this review on Google. We talk about first before we read the review that there is no like picture next to her name here on her Gmail account. I'm not saying that means this was like a fake account, but that does signify sometimes like maybe they're not super active on their Gmail, and maybe they just created one real quick to leave a review. So, we don't know. The 3-star one that we'll talk about here is the exact opposite, right? It's left by somebody that has a picture.
Right.
They've left a lot of reviews. This person has left no reviews. So usually that means that maybe they were a little emotional or something. But anyway, okay, so here's the review. Short and sweet. It says, the pad thai with beef was not enjoyable. Most of the beef had too much grizzle to eat. Period. That's it. So
Yes.
really talking about the beef. Let's dissect this first sentence. So the pad thai with beef was not enjoyable. Would you say that is your most ordered item on the menu? Is that kind of like what Hurry Up and Walk This Way would lead with? Or is it like not a popular one? Or tell me about the pad thai with beef.
Okay. Pad Thai with beef is my favorite.
Okay.
So I would say pad thai with beef is the second choice of protein that people normally go with
Okay.
after chicken.
Chicken. Okay.
So the beef that we use, I want to clarify that we use the good beef,
Okay.
but some part of the beef shank
Sure.
that we use
Okay.
that might have a little bit tendon.
Okay.
They're hard to cut it off and hard to chew it.
Mm.
So for this one, I would say I accept what she's thinking because everybody they're not thinking the same way.
Sure. Yeah. And in food reviews, and we've had a few on the show so far, food is so subjective sometimes, right? It's sometimes people like beef, sometimes people don't, sometimes they it kind of the mood they're in sometimes. So it's hard to gauge it all the time with a food review. But in here we'll get into the second line because I want to ask about grizzle because I don't know if I'm even saying that right. But the second line is most of the beef had too much grizzle to eat. Am I saying that word correct? Grizzle or gristle?
You know what?
I sound so non-informed.
Honest,
yeah.
I have no idea what grizzle is until I searched it up.
Okay, when you searched it, what did it say?
It's like a tendon or something like
Sure.
the joy or something between the beef because in the beef shank
Yeah.
they come with the hard part that you cannot chew it
Okay.
or unless you stew it.
Got you.
So the part that
So that's the shoeing you're talking
Yeah, the
about
shoeing.
with the beef. Okay.
Yes.
Got you. So they just and tendon is kind of chewy or it's hard to get through when you're eating the beef. Is that
Yeah,
accurate? Okay.
I think so.
So they just really, in their opinion, just got a bad thing of beef or something. Do you remember this customer? Did any of your staff tell you? Oh, you do. Okay. Tell me about that. Why does it stick out to you? Like, did they come up and complain or what happened?
She actually didn't come up to complain about this, which means it's totally okay for us because some people did just really upset about what they got and they're not enjoyable and they don't want to talk about this.
Sure.
But for us, that'd be amazing if they come up.
Yeah.
And we'll be really appreciated because we can at least find a way out to make the things better.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So for this kind of stuff, for me personally, I think it's good to know to know that some part of the beef that is not supposed to, or some part that people don't like it, it's in there.
Yeah.
So we can make this better next time to just be careful what we when we cutting the meat or something like that.
Well, yeah. So then you said, okay, so I'm sorry, Ning. So you said Sherry, she did come back up?
She didn't.
Oh, she didn't. So she ate it, was unhappy, left, and then left a review.
That's right.
Okay. So I used to work at a very well-known food chain, and I won't say the name, but there would be several times where people would come through the drive-through, order their food, leave, and then come back through and say, this was wrong, this was wrong, this was gross. And we're like, we're so sorry, can we take the food and we'll replace it for you? If it really wasn't bad. Oh, well, we ate it. I mean, we ate the food, but it wasn't great. We'd want a refund. And it was like, well, you ate it. Like usually if you take a bite of something and it's like, ugh, like there's too much grizzle or whatever, most food places, even your national chains, will replace it. If you show them, hey, I took a bite out of it, but it was gross, they'll give you a new one, but I was always like, when they never had it, I was thinking, dude, they're just pulling a fast one. Like, what? They just want more food or their money back or whatever. And so in this scenario, and I tell everyone, like, they need to go to Curry Up and Walk This Way in Union Hall.
Thank you.
And you also, Union Hall is unique because there's so many different food options there. But the way you're positioned, you have such a nice area that it's like kind of your own little corner, which is cool.
Thank you.
And people that eat over there, I feel like it wouldn't be that hard to, if they took a bite of it and didn't like it, they could just come right back up and just show you the dish and say, oh, look all this grizzle or whatever. And I imagine you would say, we're so sorry, we can replace that for you. That's right. So they don't have an unhappy experience, Right. So I don't know why she didn't do that. I don't know. Come on, Sherry. Okay. So Ning, I want to talk about Andrew's review real quick. So this is our 3-star review, but I think it goes into a little bit about, mainly, obviously it's about food because you're a food restaurant, but it kind of talks about the subjectiveness a little bit. So we won't go super into it, but they really dissect, like, Andrew has like points on here, like 1, 2, and 3, and yada yada. But he's really talking about the coconut curry sauce. So now instead of the meat, there's somebody here talking about the sauce. And so you had mentioned earlier, like curry up was kind of your side, and then walk this way was your husband's. So do you take more offense when someone says, and I'll read you one line, it says like the coconut curry sauce is good, except the heat level is way off. Super spicy, even on medium. So clearly Andrew couldn't handle the heat. He thought he could, and he couldn't. What goes into a review, or when you're reading that about spice levels and sauce, or just sauce in general? Do you think that's just somebody thought they liked it one way and then actually didn't? Or what did you read this review, and what went through your head when you read this one about the coconut curry sauce?
Okay, about this review,
Yeah.
I read it. At first, I feel so sorry for him that he couldn't
Sure.
handle the food,
Yeah.
like the heat of the food,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we're so aware of the level of the heat at our restaurant.
Sure.
Because all the chili that we use for the curry,
Mm-hmm.
that's a Thai chili.
Okay.
And it's the name Prik Jinda. It's really spicy.
Yeah.
And I would not recommend customer to go with the medium
Mm-hmm.
if it's their first time.
Sure.
We always offer the sample
Okay.
to make sure you can handle the heat.
Yeah.
If not, like, this is the lowest we can do,
Yeah.
because I cannot go lower than this to make all the taste of the coconut milk
Yeah.
ruin my curry paste.
Sure. You're right.
Because I'm from the southern Thailand,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where I came from. All the food spicy,
Yeah.
and this is what you're gonna get when you go to Thailand.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we always represent our restaurant
Sure.
as an authentic
That's good.
Thai restaurant.
Yeah. Well, because and you could get a review that somebody says, I had Young Day Moon, who does Club Sandwich. He was on, and his 1-star review was basically saying his food wasn't authentic enough. And I think and I don't want to speak for you, Ning, but a review like that would probably hurt me more
I know.
than a review like this, because you want it to be authentic. You're like, I grew up in Thailand. I'm from Thailand. And so I think it's great that you keep the authenticity of the spice level, but that you warn him. And clearly, it got to Andrew a little bit. He couldn't hang with the heat, but
I always
yeah.
tell my employees to be, hey, I would love you guys to make sure you clarify how spicy by the levels. We
Yeah.
only have 4 levels.
Yeah.
How much chili contains in the levels
Sure.
for each level.
For each level. Well, and you might have just answered my question that I'm about to ask. But so we like to talk about, we went through the past. We talked about the review, kind of in the present of how you do your operations. So future, did you read these reviews? And I know this other one from Sherry just happened yesterday, but will that change how you do things? Or did this Andrew review, this one happened 2 weeks ago, did that one change how you do things with your talking to your staff or customers or anything like that?
For Andrew's review,
Mm-hmm.
about the taste, I cannot change anything.
Yeah.
Because like I told you, I have to keep my authentic food going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I still love to represent my food like this.
Yeah.
Because to eat the Thai food, everybody knows that Thai food is spicy.
Yeah.
And if you cannot eat spicy, I would say you need to learn how to eat it. When you go to Thailand,
Yeah.
no one gonna lower the spice for you.
True. Yeah.
It sounds cool, but that's the truth.
True. No, and you want that. You want that authentic taste. And
And it's really good to eat the food and have it spicy because it's more fancier taste. I mean, for me. And for the taste of the coconut curry, I would say I didn't do anything much about this, but the thing that I fixed it to tell my employee to make sure you clarify it with the customer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To make sure they shoot the right level of the spices.
Yeah. That's probably the best thing you can do. Because like you said, you don't want to change the dish.
Right.
But you can tell the customer, hey, this is going to be spicy. And there's probably some people that say, bring it on.
Yes.
I love spicy. And then they eat it and they're just like, well, this is hot, but I love it. So that's cool thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Last thing. This is how we're going to end. We always end them this way. So if I'll be both people. How about that? If I was Sherry and or Andrew, is there anything you would like to say to me right now if I'm in the studio with you?
Okay. First of all, I'm so sorry that our food didn't meet what you're looking for.
Sure.
And then if the quality of the food is not what you expect for, we're so sorry. And please give us some chance, some shot to just come back and let us make it better for you, because we would love to make it up for this.
Perfect.
Yes.
That sounds good. Awesome. Well, Ning, I'm when we're done recording, I'm coming to get dinner. So you're open right now, right?
Yeah, we can walk back together.
What are your
I'm walking there.
What are your hours? tell us your hours real quick.
So we open 11 o'clock until 8.
11 to 8.
Sunday to Thursday.
Okay.
Friday, Saturday, we close at 9.
Close at 9. Okay, great.
Yes.
Well, Ning, thank you so much for being my guest on One Star Rewind.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.